around. It was right around the same time because all my neighbors had the stuff we didn't. But it was right about probably right after N64 came out, and it was just this red box that you stick your head up, it had goggles, it had a controller. But it was horrible because it was a one-person only.
Crystal said Virtual Boy?
Yep, that was it.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thanks, Crystal.
I think so.
That one I didn't know.
I want to Google it.
I think that answer should come with the cheesecake.
Let me look that up.
Dude, we had those video games, man. I was lucky too. I was so lucky.
Virtual Boy.
Because we had some. It wasn't always great, but when we got stuff like that,
Thanks, Crystal.
man.
She said anytime.
Oh man.
You don't remember that?
I don't.
I do now that I see it.
I don't.
I didn't want it, but I do remember. That's ugly as heck.
I remember. That was the first time in my life.
Face off a cockroach.
That looked like one of the machines from the Lego movie. That was terrible. That was tearing up the city.
So I just remember my neighbor was like, "Oh, I got this game. You want to see it?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, sticks his head in and starts playing. I'm like, "Well, this sucks." I can't even see what you're doing.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, pretty much.
What are you doing?
If I was smart, I would have just slapped him on the back of the head.
Are y'all ready to start?
Whenever you want.
Okay.
You're on. It's a radio show. They can't see you.
I knew I was on. Welcome, everybody, to episode 31 of the Prodigal Son.
Were you dancing
I'm
just then?
cutting that out.
I was, and you interrupted me. We cannot get through one of these.
But we
Thank
didn't
you
talk about
all
dancing.
for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Don't worry about Tom Bellina to my right. Now, who we had? Tom Bellina. Like Thumbelina?
Thumbelina.
But Tom Bellina?
Thumbelina.
Yep. You started it. You started it.
No
Why don't you just go with
You started it.
Why don't you just go with Tom Thumb?
Thumbs are bigger. Thank you all for tuning in. Glad you could join us for episode 31. Clearly, we cannot get through an introduction without interruption. I just thought of that off the top of my head. But
Interruption.
today's topic is going to be about kids.
Children.
Whether it's our kids, your
Hey,
kids,
Betty, welcome.
Acting like kids.
acting like kids, which is something our producer
All
does
the
all the time.
time.
We're very mature in studio. Producer Sarah really does not. She's a little younger. But to my left, we have Sean.
How are you?
What's your name again?
Tomas
We'll skip you.
Rivera.
Far right, we have Dave.
We're doing a show on kids.
We have
I thought we were doing a
producer
kids.
Sarah.
Children.
In studio, we have Brian and this guy,
What's with the pointing?
Tom.
It's a podcast. They can't see you pointing.
Hey,
Ayo.
Tom. How you doing?
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on.
Let's talk,
Tom,
let's talk.
Tom,
I
how
don't
are you?
really understand
Tom,
what's going
how
on.
are you? How are you?
I'm
You really
amazing.
don't care. What was you gonna say, Dan?
How do they make donut holes?
There's a little metal cutter.
Yeah, it's a little-
just-
Yeah, you go.
A metal cutter.
It's a cutter. It's like round.
cutter.
It's a whole donut cutter actually.
It wouldn't be round then.
Why wouldn't it? Because they're balls.
Yeah.
They're round. Got you.
Is this a conspiracy?
Yep.
You know
No,
what?
it goes
I
in
think
and
it
then
is.
it puffs up when it fries.
We might need to do
No,
an
because
episode
there would
on
be a
this.
flat side.
Oh, dude, I
We
would
need to do an
totally make
episode on how to
donuts.
make donut holes. I think there's.
Yeah,
a conspiracy.
Pete,
That was
episode 31,
insightful,
buddy.
man. Did you just think of that?
Yeah. I was looking at the bite that Tom had taken out of his donut over there.
That's a bite.
Yeah, it's a bite. What would
Did
you call
Adrian
it?
bite that?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, we're passing notes.
Wow.
Oh, you got to read it to the whole
call cell
class.
phone. You can tell she got her mic
You got to
on.
read it to the whole class.
There we go. You can tell she got a mic.
I can't hear it.
So,
So,
Elijah,
yo,
I need a lesson here.
if I can help you, I will.
I don't know how, but you've managed to stay hip to the current language.
Kind of,
Lingo.
sort of, but I wouldn't use the word hip.
Is that not a thing? I mean, that wasn't a thing
For
when
us,
I was a kid.
For us, yeah.
So I was told yesterday that if clothes are tight, fitting, that they're young.
Yeah.
I need a lesson on language.
I there's certain words I'm not allowed to say, which my 12-year-old son told me I wasn't allowed to say. But young, I was using when I was small, when I was younger.
Really?
Like when it came to clothes, like if somebody had on we were, busting on each other and they had on a small shirt or small pants and they were extra tight. It was like, yo, your pants are young. Like I said earlier, your shirt's young.
Are you
man.
telling us you're like 20 years ahead of the game?
I'm in the middle somewhere.
So how do you keep up with like? I feel like I had kids, and we're on kids already. I feel like I had kids, and I totally forgot all the. I was
didn't
just
forget-
out of pop culture.
You didn't forget. You just tuned it out.
Yeah, I just started. I just started blocking everything
You
else
just
out.
tuned it out.
But at some point, I'm gonna have to re-enter society. I don't think I'll be able to communicate.
Just try not to get your research on the internet. Just try and keep your ears open.
So I just can't talk for like the first month that
Just
I'm
try
back
to
in
keep it,
society.
because when you talk about people's outfits and what they're wearing, like we would be like, "Yo, that's a nice outfit," or if you're older, "Hey, that's a nice getup," or "Check out those digs." No, kids today they call it drip.
I call them clothes.
So they're not close.
That's why you're not hip.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not
trying to be
drip.
hip.
It's drip. It's drip, and they say lit. I don't think they say fleek anymore, but
It's not in fleek.
on
On
fleek.
fleek?
There you go.
No,
But
we
on
don't say
fleek.
fleek
But they
anymore.
don't. So look, what do you
Dave,
say?
Lisa says that you've never been in pop culture.
That's
Well,
probably.
what do you say, producer?
I don't know. You're the expert,
I'm not.
old guy.
See, this is why we should not give her a mic anymore. Your mic privileges are being revoked.
There was a wonderful gift.
Yeah, we got a lot of good gifts lately, but
Okay.
anymore.
And now I have a mic.
No, I don't understand
I'll tell you what.
these kids are saying these days.
You know what you sound like? You sound like a grandparent. You sound like. Never mind.
And they're on the lawn. Why don't they just get off the lawn? I'm just kidding. They're not on the lawn.
You sound like Mr. Wilson. What's going on? I'll
So-
tell you what though.
Could we do a segment where you teach us a word every week?
I was going to suggest that, but you beat me to it. Sure,
So this week's word is drip.
we can say that. Yeah.
We're dripping.
Yeah, why?
Is that? Oh, he's giving
That's
me.
probably not.
Should not.
It's not a good word to be using.
We should
but
probably
we're
not
gonna
use
do
it
that.
on.
So I'm. But how do you use it as a verb? Put on my drip. Is that what you say?
If you want to, you'll sound corny as all heck. But
How am I supposed to use this word drip in a sentence?
We refer to a sink.
when you refer to a sink, oh, your drip is hot, yo.
That's what I thought. The drip is hot. I'm gonna write that.
I shouldn't have said yo, because that just made me sound totally stupid. But I tried.
Is
Don't write it down. Writing
not?
it down, just.
I
no.
thought I'd write these things on the back
No,
of my hand and
no,
then go out on the street
no.
and meet people and say,
No,
And
because
they'd be
the
all
minute you go like,
smudged.
because the minute you go like this, they're gonna swing on you. Because they're like, is he trying to hit me?
I was just gonna comment on your drip, sir.
Well, I'm totally dry. Thank you. Toodaloo.
All right, this week's word is drip. That's the word of the week. Brought to you by Elijah.
Okay.
No, just keep it going. Just keep it going.
This is a
Just
good
keep-
segment. In like 50 episodes, I'll be hip to be square.
Yeah.
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 And then all those words will be gone and have to start all over again.
So basically, you're saying if you teach it to me,
So let me get this
the
straight.
word is dead.
It's like technology. 6 months, it's obsolete.
Okay. So by the time I learn it,
Right, Sarah? 6 months, right? That's the time frame.
A year.
No,
Scientists-
it's 6 months.
Scientists
It
says 6
changes
months.
way too much.
Yeah.
It's really irritating.
I feel like there was a lot of hostility in the room. Is there any grievances to be aired this week? Do we have any airing of grievances?
You do.
I don't.
I don't
But
know.
usually by the end of the segment, I
Your
come up
knee
with
is
one.
going. Your knee is going, so something's a brewing.
I got nothing.
Every time you bring this up, it's because you want to get something off your chest. And you want to see
everybody-
if we have something to say.
So I'm curious. I don't have a grievance, but how do you guys feel with the overabundance of lighting in the room?
It's
Ask
drippy.
It's,
Are you okay?
The
Are
drip
you
is bright.
sweating?
wait. Who's talking?
We need to keep you hydrated.
Who's talking?
Yeah,
talking?
it's a little bright in here. It's
I saw some cool shades over there, but I know they don't belong to you.
I was watching some YouTube videos about lighting, and then I went a little crazy. So
It's fine. I don't need to see when I leave here.
we're gonna walk out of the studio. It's gonna be dark outside.
All four of us will
We're
be wearing sunglasses next week.
We all gonna come in.
I have
and sit.
transitions. They automatically just
It's gonna
start.
be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Ray
yeah.
Charles and Stevie Wonder in here. We all just gonna be.
So we're gonna blow right through the airing of grievances. Nobody has a grievance.
Yeah, you do. So we're waiting for you to air
I
it.
don't.
I don't know why you brought that up then.
I'm gonna bring it up every week. I think there needs to be a healthy opportunity for us to vent and to yell at each other in a hostile but healthy way.
We did that from 6:50 to 7.
All right, so we
We
should
actually
watch.
did it from 6.
We should
to
watch
7.
the lingos that we use,
Drippy.
especially from the sources that the words derive from.
Okay,
Does anybody have a clue what Tom's saying?
I do.
What's he talking about?
He wants
He
to talk
doesn't
about
like. He doesn't like
etymology.
the word that we use today.
Oh. All right, cool. I don't understand, but he'll explain it later.
I do.
Yeah, I'll explain it all. I'll explain it later.
I do. I won't
Wait,
stick
he has
around
a
for it.
We
grievance
because
get
I
off the
get it.
Leave
cameras.
it
I'll
for
explain it to
later.
you guys.
Tom's being dad right now.
No.
That's what's happening.
You're
Tom's
too
being
short
dad.
to be
Christian
dad.
podcast. That's all. I'm just making sure we stay focused. On
All right,
That's all.
whatever. Eat your donut.
I can't. It's frozen.
No, it's not.
Well, let it go.
Yes.
Aha, nice, nicely done.
That was good.
So since we're, you want to do the game? Is that it? We're doing the game.
Let's do the game.
You have the
I
whole
think we're
in the
rundown on your
Yeah,
pad.
you got the. He's asking us.
We're playing a game.
Are we playing a game?
Jonathan said it's lit in here.
I will agree
It
with
is
that.
lit
It's
in
lit.
here. I do
It's
agree.
lit. I'm not sure what that means, but it's lit.
It is lit.
It's lit. Lit. And hip.
It's well lit.
I can see
Are
sweat in
things
like
still
all
hot?
of your brows.
Like, is hot still a good thing?
Sure.
Dave still pops it like it's hot.
Does anybody?
Yeah, in her apple bottom jeans.
Father Tom.
I'm not a Father Tom. Wrong denomination.
That was funny. That was funny. Father Tom over here ain't gonna like. So.
Papa Tom.
I don't know how Elijah does it, but he stays in touch with the culture. One time I pulled into the church parking lot with my car, and he was talking about a whip and ghosting a whip. riding a whip.
riding the whip.
Elijah has the brain of a kid, and by that, it's a compliment.
It is. It's a
All
sponge.
it's a sponge. It just soaks everything up that he hears.
But nothing important.
No,
you see that all the time, but yet you know more than everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's the test. You're acting a little sus, Elijah. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I'm not acting suspect. I'm straight.
I was
I'm
gonna
good.
guess suspect. Man.
What is the origin? What is the etymology of that?
suspect?
See, here you go throwing all these big words at me that I don't understand. So I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Watch him. No, I'm just joking. That was Kevin Hart. I was just joking. I don't.
You're
no.
what, like 40? You can't talk to me like that. I'm so sorry, Jonathan, in advance. I'm really sorry.
I don't know. All I know is the only hip thing I've been doing lately is watching Hamilton constantly, and I can't say it enough. The kids always have it in it. I'm walking around work. Hercules Mulligan.
I still haven't seen it yet.
You still haven't seen it?
No.
It's on Disney
Have you
Plus.
guys been out there in the world? You guys been out
Yeah,
and
like-
about in the world?
Working.
Every day.
Kind
I try to
Have you
live in
seen
a
any
bubble.
wild peeing?
What?
What?
I got a news story here about wild peeing.
Is that
I
necessary?
haven't done
Now,
that
he
in years.
knows
I stopped
this is
drinking
gonna
years
ruffle
ago. So.
feathers, but please
As a
elaborate.
pianist?
No, it's peeing.
Oh,
Wild peeing. So apparently the Netherlands.
Tom doesn't like it.
No, I'm go ahead, read it.
No, the
He's
Netherlands.
like Cap. Language?
Tom doesn't like the word peeing.
No, go ahead.
The Netherlands are fighting an outbreak of wild peeing with hemp-filled public urinals.
What?
The capital of the Netherlands, which I guess is Amsterdam, has installed hemp-filled urinals in public outdoor locations around the city as a means of combating the long-time problem of wild peeing. Dutch company Urban Sense has installed 12 green pea urinals in locations around...
Outhouses.
No, not quite. You should see a picture. It's more like a planter with a urinal on the side of it, right out in public. There's not like a door. There's no door. It's just a planter.
So
with
it's
a,
like a stadium urinal thing, like that round urinal at the stadium, and it's just out in the middle of nowhere.
Like a bird bath.
Well, it's just kind of like out in the street. There's just a hemp-filled.
You do have a little bit of a.
And they're going to use...
Some.
So they're
Oh,
growing.
no,
hemp
no, no,
and
they're
pea.
not. They're not going to use them. They are using them.
So they're
I
growing
don't
hemp
want a
with the
hemp
pea?
urine shirt.
So since
Yeah, it's gonna
oh
stink.
no, they're not gonna make clothing out of them.
Rope.
No, they're
I
just
don't know.
the actual urinals are made of hemp.
Somehow the hemp
Oh, it's not for
turns
growing
the
hemp.
No, it's not for
acidity
growing
or
hemp.
something. It can grow plants.
So it's like urine on a urinate
Oh,
on a
it can
sweater.
actually grow plants in the urinal.
yeah,
and then you
it's
pee
a
on them?
planter. It's a planter, and something with the hemp gets rid of
They
the.
must filter it somehow.
It filters, and it grows plants. So apparently there was an outbreak of wild peeing right after the coronavirus outbreak because
Because you weren't allowed to pee
there's no,
inside.
there's no bathrooms
Yeah.
inside, so people just apparently there just pee on the street, kind of like Boston.
Kind of like California.
I've seen more peeing in New York City than I care to remember in all of my life.
Well, I went to the 2000. I don't tell my mom, but I cut school, and I took the ferry over to Manhattan, and we watched the 2000 Yankee parade, and there was a lot of peeing there.
Oh,
There's quite a bit of peeing.
Listen, back in my drinking days, there was a lot of wild peeing going on. Out the car window, in anybody's
I know
parking
nothing
lot,
about that.
middle of the street. I didn't care.
Anyway,
I was
so
an angel.
I teach you the term wild peeing.
Yeah.
So next time you're on
2020.
next time you're on a road trip, and you
Man,
need
I was way ahead of the
I'm
curve.
sorry, but there's nothing lit about wild peeing.
I don't know this lip that you speak
I
of.
don't know. It was convenient.
Our producer like has her face in her hands, like, oh god, these old guys and new words. Cut it out. It's cool though.
I just hope that wild peeing urinal doesn't have a drip.
Or it doesn't spread.
Or it doesn't catch on, because we don't need that here.
All right, that's what spread means.
Spray. I thought you said spray. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Couldn't understand.
No, that's because the round thing over the
Yeah,
mic.
it's all over. Yeah. She
All
wants
right,
us to.
game time.
So we got to decide: are we doing teams or are we doing individual?
Doing
I
teams.
don't care. I
I
don't
thought
know.
this was
What do you guys want to do?
individual
You want to do a
sports.
team or individual?
Doesn't matter.
So this pig's been staying in front of Elijah way too long. And we're gonna do some.
But if you do teams, right, and let's say
Then you gotta
he has
split
a
the
great day, then the pig still stays on that table.
All right, so we're doing individual.
Yeah, let's just do individuals.
All right, we're doing individual.
Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I pushed the button. Don't mind me.
It's all good.
We're not restarting again. I promise. There's no skip this time.
I thought you were messing around. Like,
Hey John, did you
No,
put,
we're
did y'all
done.
put an order in for your shirt?
We back on?
Yeah.
We are back on.
Okay,
we never
cool.
went off. Don't
I
worry.
love that song. Anyway,
Yeah.
that song's awesome.
All right, so
It is really great.
is this an individual sport or is this a team sport?
It seems like the consensus is it's going to be an individual, sport,
Yeah.
Individuals, all right.
and we're going to try to get the pig away from
Like
Elijah.
downhill slalom.
So in honor of our topic of children, and what's our topic?
I don't know.
I called it a grab bag.
Okay, so our theme of children and kids and bringing up children, we're going to do Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Individual style, and try to get the pig away from Elijah.
Cool.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we are doing, and let me just cut to my face.
Which hand is you gonna raise so you don't hit your microphone?
Hey, look, it's me. What's up? Hi. Okay, we are doing geography this time. So,
crap.
first grade.
First grade. Geography. Mexico. We got to raise our hands, right?
How
Yes.
many continents are there? Elijah.
Don't even start. Don't
She
even go there.
loves
Seven.
Elijah.
Seven.
So annoying.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. If you're close, she'll give it to you.
Seven.
Just what range? Give us a range, Elijah.
All right, I'll give
Come
you.
on,
Here's the
Elijah.
range: 7
No, it's
Or-
7. I'm just
It's
don't
7.
or
even-
1.
So we have this thing here on the show where we say that Sarah, the producer, loves Elijah. So even if he's close, she'll just make up a reason to give
What
it
I
to him.
mean by 1 is Pangea, but never mind. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You,
that
I
just-
know you got it.
That
He
went
said
over our
1.
heads.
That's so
Sorry
wrong.
about that. Good. What country is Paris the capital of? Dave.
France.
Very nice. Is someone writing this down?
Oh, I will.
Thank you.
Elijah
Oh,
has
gosh.
none.
Yeah. Actually, Dave keeps score.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom,
Dave
put your
has
mic on your
6.
face. Okay.
Feels nice having my own mic during the game, though.
You're not using it much.
No.
No, you're not.
Nah.
Wow.
In what country are the pyramids of Giza? Tom.
Oh
Egypt.
my goodness.
Blocked me. Wow. Wow, he's working for you. I went like this. and couldn't
Good
get
job,
my
Sean.
arm up.
Good job, Sean. Was Tom right?
Oh, yes. In what city is the White House located? That was actually Dave.
We're teams. That's fine.
Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Just want to make sure, because D.C. is a weird thing, right? It's not a state.
It's
It's a district.
It
Is
is
it
a
considered a
district.
city?
It
I
It
just
is
wanted
not
to,
a state.
had to
So
think
is
about
that
it.
actually U.S. soil?
Yes.
Yes, but they
Yes.
can't vote.
It's taxation without representation.
Taxation is theft, but we won't get into
We can have another discussion
We won't
later.
get into that.
How many states are in the United?
Oh, that's stupid.
Dave,
50.
good job.
Want that pig so bad.
50 nifty
Eating
United
bacon.
States from 13 original colonies.
Is that a real song?
Well, that's
Yeah,
adorable.
Did you just make that up?
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. You guys never heard
All right,
this
you know
song?
what? Lay
This
out.
is
Let him sing it.
adorable.
Yeah,
You
well,
guys never-
well, we're in it.
Go for it.
We're
Yeah,
already in it now.
No, I'm done. Look it up.
yeah I can
Google
see
it.
all the presidents.
The state song.
I have a
You guys
president's
seriously
song.
didn't learn that in elementary school?
No,
Is that a
Wow.
Puerto Rico?
sorry.
No, I went to Perk Valley. Well, in fourth grade. Before fourth grade, I was in Puerto Rico.
I was gonna say.
But I
right?
learned it in fourth grade in Perk Valley.
In your mic.
Okay.
Okay, second grade. Put those down. What state is called the Lone Star State? Dave.
Texas.
In what state is the Grand Canyon located? Elijah.
I don't know, Colorado.
Oof. Tom?
No, he
next?
was second.
Oh, Dave? Sorry.
I know this. I'm sure I timed out. Go ahead, Tom.
Tom?
No, I was gonna say Colorado.
I was gonna say Colorado too.
Arizona.
It sounded right.
Sean is right.
I've
Good
driven
job.
right by it too.
He always stays.
I think.
You know what?
I think.
That's what he does.
I think Sean knows the answer to every question, and he's just like, I
Yeah,
don't
come
play
on,
stupid
Sean.
games. He's like, I don't play games.
Andres just went there last year for NYC. That's what I knew.
Then why didn't you raise your arm?
Because I like watching you guys fight for it. That's why. I think that
He
entertains
doesn't
me
want
more.
the pig. Okay.
The pig's always on my side of the table.
Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go.
What three countries are located in North America?
Oh, that's easy. You got
Dave.
this.
Oh,
Come on, what you say?
Breathe in the
United
pain.
States of America,
Yeah.
Canada,
And that other one.
The other
the
Alaska.
wall.
and Mexico.
Thank you. That was
Really?
correct,
I'm preaching
by the
about
way.
politics. I'm getting
You help?
hyped.
You help? You
Oh,
help
no.
them out?
Oh, come
No,
on.
no.
We have 4 now, right?
4.
Hey,
Four
Lee,
points.
how's it
Hey,
going?
Lee.
Got
You're welcome.
5. Thank you very
5.
much.
Okay. To travel from New York to London, one must fly over what ocean?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just guess it.
Yeah,
Atlantic?
Tom?
Yeah.
Yep, good job.
Why did I crap
Just
out
gotta
on
hop
that
the pond.
answer?
Yeah, let's do it.
In what country is the famous Taj Mahal located? Tom.
India.
Las Vegas.
Both are good. Both are good. No,
Was it
Tom
India?
got it. It was India. Okay, third grade. What is the longest river in the world? Tom.
The Nile.
No.
The Mississippi.
No.
you can't just keep throwing out
can't keep
answers till
throwing
you
out
get
answers.
a river that
Oh.
works.
Yeah.
No one else raised their hand.
I
Someone
know,
give
that's
me
why
an
I'm throwing
answer.
them out.
Yeah, but you still got to raise your hand.
Yeah.
No, you don't know.
I need someone to give me an
It's
answer.
not the Nile or the Mississippi.
Indian River.
What?
I really thought it was one of those two. I don't know.
I thought it was the Nile too.
I thought it was the
Sean?
So
Nile.
did I.
It's
Yeah,
the
Brian's
Amazon.
got it.
So
Yeah,
Brian
Amazon
is in
River.
the game.
That was my third
All
guess.
right, Brian might
Give
be
me
taking the
point.
pig home
Okay,
tonight.
hold on. Let me.
I think Brian's known almost
Brian's
every
on
one
my
of them.
team. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
See, what he doesn't notice is when these questions are answered, I'm doing this a lot, but he's like this. He's busting it. He's like,
Yeah, he's. I see him. And out of everyone, he's like,
My lifelong aspiration is to be on Jeopardy.
There we
Oh,
go.
so you think we're a bunch of morons?
I can see it in his face. He's like,
He's like,
From now on, I'm going to phone a friend.
next week we're like,
Okay,
yeah, Brian
okay.
didn't come to the show.
he's gonna throw that notebook at some point. He's gonna be so frustrated.
You guys
Like,
are idiots.
like we told Brian we were doing the show somewhere else,
Yeah.
so he's somewhere else.
All right, what do we got?
All right, already.
On what continent is the country of Greece located? Tom.
Asia?
No. Anyone else want to? Sean?
Europe.
Good job. Continent.
I know there's 7. I can't name them.
I think that was first grade.
First grade was ever so long ago.
That was for me.
No, for all of us.
For me, it was
Tom, you
real.
jumped up in that question. I just saw the replay. Like you jumped up, almost fell out of your seat to answer that wrong. Like, you were so excited to answer that wrong. I just saw the 20 second. I'm like, oh.
What we got?
Okay, okay. What is the name for a body of land that is completely
An island.
Yes. I didn't think you would get that if I didn't finish.
Oh,
the
I was hoping
question.
you was gonna go the other way around.
too.
Peninsula.
That's
Peninsula.
what I was gonna
That's
say.
what I was thinking.
I was gonna
yeah.
say peninsula because I thought.
No, she said completely.
Yeah, she
No,
said completely.
no, she didn't.
She did. She said
right
completely.
before she completely. Tom answered the question.
She said completely. So I, was
I need
either
to make you guys
completely-
Bible quizzers. I really do.
Whatever.
Okay.
Wow,
Totally
Tom with
cast
4
him on
answers.
purple.
That's like a lifelong record.
Look, I see, look, he jumped. He
He jumps out of the sea. Like, I'm afraid he's gonna
thinking
fall.
that short that you gotta see. He stood up. You stood up.
You're so fast that I have to do that. I need the momentum from my body to try to get my hand to go
Well, I
faster than
just
yours.
shredding. So,
So
what is the capital?
let's go.
Well, I'm glad I paused.
What's the capital of what?
I'ma just,
I don't like what's going on right now. I gotta be honest. I don't like what's going on. I might walk out. I'm not sure
You
yet.
can walk out. You will lose, but you can walk out.
Huh?
You will lose, but you can walk out.
Next question.
Oh, this is bad.
What's the capital of New York? Dave,
Albany.
good job.
I was gonna say New York. I'm like, wait a second, I'm from there. That's not right.
I guess I'll have to watch the replay.
Name the Great Lakes of the United States. Dave.
How the heck? Why did I raise my hand?
I'll try it. How many
No,
of them is-
wait, let
okay.
him try.
I don't even know.
I'm good. I'm out.
Okay,
I
Elijah.
don't know. How many of them is it?
What was the
I
question?
don't know. You gotta
It's
tell
like-
me. It's a part of the question.
You know-
Lakes, right?
He knows the
It's
answer.
like
I didn't-
Huron.
I'm watching them struggle.
It's
Hold
like
on.
Huron, Superior.
Detroit. It's not it.
2 more.
Huron,
Oh,
Superior.
Crystal, thank you.
The acronym is HOMES, if that helps you at all.
Ontario.
There you go.
And Detroit.
Erie.
Yeah, good job. It was a bit
Tom,
long.
why are you checking
but-
in and writing messages on the page?
So Elijah got it. I think he
Miles.
timed
Did
out
you-
there, but
Do you know not what we were laughing at?
I had to.
all right, we're done. We're done.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Move along.
4th
I'll tell
grade.
you later.
Brian is smarter than all y'all's. I do agree, Peter. Oh, I can't say that past her.
Brian is smarter than all of us.
Well, we said that already, so.
I know, I'm just saying. Pete,
I know.
I say next
You
time
got
we team
2
up and say,
more
"Are you
grades.
smarter than Brian?" and we get our butts whooped.
I love that idea.
That would be good.
Are you down? Okay.
Yeah!
Next time,
We'll do
next
that.
time,
There's
we're
an
gonna do
episode.
that.
Brian's
Alright.
coming on.
We're not going to hold any punches,
Apparently-
though. So bring your A
apparently
game.
Brian-
Me and Brian versus you three. yeah.
He just wants the pig.
Apparently, Brian wouldn't be able to make it to that episode. There will not
4th
be
grade.
anybody tied up in the back of my car.
4th grade.
Let's do it.
Where is the largest desert in the world located?
I
Elijah?
don't know, Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Elijah with 4.
Tied me.
Tied with Tom.
How many kingdoms are part of the United Kingdom and name them?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Brian.
You want me to try? I'll try.
Give them just a second. I like watching them struggle.
Well, there's no struggle. We just don't know. Yeah, there's no
not-
struggling.
I mean, I only know 2.
Well,
I only know 2.
Sean knows.
Yeah, Sean knows them.
Sean knows.
I have no idea.
Because he's doing that rocking like.
Can you give us the answer to the first one? How many are there?
4.
Yeah,
How
4.
many do you know? 2?
I only 2.
What are those?
Britain and France.
What?
How did you get France in that?
It's not. Oh,
France?
The United
no.
Kingdoms.
No, that's not it.
This isn't the
Ireland,
EU.
Scotland,
Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales.
Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Well, all together with our powers
I was
combined.
guessing. I didn't think Wales was a
No,
kingdom.
Captain Planet.
Northern Ireland? I thought Ireland was its
It
own
is
country.
Northern Ireland.
I was gonna
Ireland.
say,
Hey, look,
Good
I didn't even
job.
know that. Like we were wrong.
I was going to say
I didn't realize
Switzerland.
Wales was a.
Wow. So
I was.
I'm seeing here that our listener is says that they're about to tune out. So
Okay.
our
Okay.
3 listeners are about to leave. So let's
Sorry about
wrap
that.
it
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. What country is the largest in size?
What country is the
Country.
largest?
Tom.
Russia.
Good job. Next.
Oh, good job, Tom.
The United States and Mexico are separated by what river? Dave. Brian.
The Rio Grande?
Beautiful. Great job. What is the southernmost continent called?
The what?
Southernmost continent. Dave.
The South Pole.
Antarctica?
Good job. 5th grade. 5 more, guys. I promise.
Give me
What
an
is the main language spoken in the Canadian province of Quebec? Tom.
French.
I gave them that.
I gave him that
earlier.
answer earlier.
I
I gave
know.
him that answer earlier.
Everybody.
Wow.
Which
Tom's got
country
6,
is
Dave's
both an
got 7.
island and a continent?
What?
Say it again.
What country is both an island?
Australia.
Good job.
Oh, Tom is tied with Dave.
Wow, you guys are splitting the pig tonight.
What is the name of the sea bordered by Europe to the north and North Africa to the south? The sea. Brian.
This one I don't know.
Okay.
Starts with a G?
So Europe is up north. North Africa is to the south.
That's not it.
Europe is above. Africa is below.
Dun, dun.
Mediterranean Sea.
There, there's that one.
Okay. The mountain range that includes Mount Everest is called
Appalachians.
what the heck?
Is it called what the heck?
Wow, I never heard of that mountain range.
Dave.
Can you repeat the question?
Ah, no! You can't
I don't
repeat
think
the
so.
question. You raise your hand.
It's something Andes?
Brian.
It's the Himalayas.
Yay!
Himalayas. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah. it was-
Okay,
I
we
wasn't
need
even
a
close.
sick mic. Imaginary lines traversing the globe from
The
Dave.
equator.
Imaginary lines. Tom.
Latitude, longitude.
No. It should be, but
It should be. So the
Should
Earth.
be,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, so.
do you know the other word?
The topic of, is it one of the topics? Or
No. It's called meridians, but I'll take Tom's
yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna take
Yeah,
Tom's.
meridian.
Just take the equator. No,
That was
I-
only
That's just
one.
he didn't get it. He didn't
was
get it.
only one.
We're,
Last
no,
year
we're not
was
breaking a
Tuesday.
tie on that. He didn't have it. Give me.
It is
One more.
longitude. The
Okay, okay. In the book of Acts, who did Luke write to?
I just read this.
Then you should know it.
And you better be able to pronounce it.
I don't know.
Starts with a T. Dave.
Thomas?
No. Sean.
Timothy.
No.
Wow, I'm wrong.
Dave.
T-Rex.
No. Theophilus.
Oh,
Alright.
jeez.
Do I still need to break a tie?
No, Tom won.
Tom won.
I'll give him the whatever he said. As long as it's not in front of Elijah, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, how did we let Tom win?
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
I had a
The
win
pig has
because there
changed
just
hands.
There was
too much going on.
There was an air around him.
There was a
Okay, I'm getting this.
Did you
camera
have a
off.
buzzer? I heard a vibration. Were you like the what was the guy
That
from
was the wave that got me the hand up.
You look
there.
like
It was so
Altuve.
fast it broke
I
the
was like-
sound barrier.
Are you related to that guy Altuve from the Astros? He was wearing a buzzer.
No, he was popping popcorn.
Don't be salty.
Okay, okay.
Wow,
Isn't there a quote
Tom
or
won.
something?
That's all the word I use.
All right.
Tom, you
Are
got
we doing
beat.
quote
Sorry,
first
guys,
or
we were having fun.
Are we doing the quote first, or are we
apologize.
doing
We're
the,
gonna get
uh,
right into it now.
the Bible verse first? I forget. Should I go first?
I could read what I have.
I can do the quote first.
Do the
isn't
quote
it?
first.
All right, we'll do the quote
Sorry,
for
guys.
today. Is from an astute scholar, Mr. Rogers.
He's a theologian, or what would you call him? A theologian or a?
Humanitarian.
Humanitarian.
Presbyterian minister, I believe.
Ooh.
Oh,
Presbyterian
Wow.
minister. There we
Wow.
go. Okay.
That hits right to the core right there. All right.
theologian, philosopher, Fred Rogers.
Humanitarian.
Fred Rogers, right?
Fred Rogers. We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those that see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes. I think you see a lot of that these days.
You do?
Yeah, I really do. I think you see a lot of it like with what's going on in the world right now. You see it on TV and stuff. People are like, "Well, it's not my city."
Oh, you see? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I thought you meant you see people stepping up.
No. I see
Oh, yeah.
people going through that. That's not my problem.
Yeah, not my problem. Not my president. Not my friend. You know, not my people. Not
yeah,
my.
it's not. Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's not my problem. I don't think that way.
yeah.
I don't do that stuff. Like I think.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like the old guy, but doesn't it seem like we grew up in a different world than that?
Absolutely.
When other people's parents watched you without even being asked. Like
other
you're on
people's-
the block, you're playing down towards that one house. That person's parents is watching out for everybody.
Other parents chastised you and then
Yeah.
took you home by your ear so your parents can chastise you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Different day, different time, different era.
And it's not. And the thing is, it's not that much time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 25 years. It doesn't seem like a lot of time.
Some
for all
people
that
have
to
only
change.
been around that long.
Honestly, from my perspective, it still happens. I disagree with you guys.
As far as what?
As far as
Well, you know what you should do,
there are
Sarah.
still
If you disagree with us, you should get your own podcast and talk about it.
Hey, turn your mic off.
Hey, you know what? I actually am.
Wait, yeah. You go get your own podcast. You talk about all those things that you want to talk about.
Okay, and I'll just like not edit you.
Okay. Don't no. Well, you gotta. No, that was. That's not me being angry. I'm plugging the fact that the girls are having a podcast.
The women, yeah.
Yeah, very exciting.
Well, you know what would make that quote would kind of sandwich that quote would be like a Bible verse,
A scripture?
a scripture about
Well,
children or something.
It's
like
funny
that.
because we were talking about kind of having a fun episode, talking about kids, children, and children just happen to be one of Jesus' favorite thing in the whole world. Right?
Yeah, don't spare the rod, right?
So I am going to read from Matthew
Spare the rod,
18,
spoil the child.
1 through 5. About that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Jesus called a little child to him and put the child among them. Then he said, "I tell you the truth, unless you turn from your sins and become like little children, you will never get into the kingdom of heaven. So anyone who becomes as humble as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So I just felt appropriate to start the show off with that because we're going to get into our personal children, and those are our possessions and our pride and joy and our gems, and that's how Jesus looks at us. So I felt that was. It's really nice having this little piggy here. I
I'm
like
glad
it.
you have it.
Thank you.
Now you can get in it and ride on home.
So I actually I took a couple of screenshots before.
That's a great idea, Dave.
Yeah, I appreciate. It just came to me.
Yeah.
Just take screenshots of stuff.
It's a great
Did
idea.
you thank Tom for the idea?
Tom didn't give me the
Yeah,
idea.
it's just a great idea. It's just a smart.
Tomas
move.
did.
You know what's funny is actually I didn't give him the idea at all. All I told him is that I take pictures, and then he took the screenshot.
Well, same thing.
So
I
you
had a-
improved
I
upon
had
the original
another-
idea?
I had another quote I wanted Tom to read.
The soul is healed by being with children.
And who wrote that?
Did you take his glasses?
Wait, hold on. I'm doing it. God is good.
All the time.
Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Close. You did better than I thought you would. Dostoevsky.
Oh,
I
Dostoevsky.
just thought I'd throw you under the bus there a little bit.
That's terrible.
C.S. Lewis said, "Children have one kind of silliness, as you know, and grown-ups have another kind."
So did you Google the quote, or did you Google a quote by the hardest name to pronounce?
No, I just found that one. I was like, I
You're
have
like,
to see if Tom.
perfect.
I have to see if Tom can do this. You did better than I thought you would.
Thank you, man. I've been doing a lot of reading lately, so it's helping me
Exercises.
out, exercising of the brain. That's why I got the pig. So
Yeah, no
I feel good. I feel good, man. It's all about fellowship, man. I'm helping other people. God's making me smarter.
as you brag.
bragging about helping other people, not about the pig.
No, you're
So-
bragging about me.
We're all parents here, and one question I wanted to ask you guys was, like, it seemed to me that when Lisa got pregnant with our first, everybody was like, all these parents who.
Had advice.
No, I'm sorry. Maybe you have better friends than I do. They'd come up and they'd be like, oh, you're just pregnant now. Like, wait till they're 3. Oh, my gosh, that's terrible. Or when they're 3, then they're like, oh, well, wait till they're 5. 5 is so much harder. And, like, oh, wait till they're teenagers or wait till... I don't know. To me, it seemed like when we had our first kid, like, the first day was the hardest day. And after that, it seemed like every day just got a little bit easier. Am I crazy?
No. I think I was a total opposite.
You think every day is harder?
No, as far as the first day. The first day,
Were you there?
the first day is really like I'm one of them people that people that are about to be parents. Like I want people. I'll tell them I like no matter what you go through in life, no matter how you feel about anything, the minute you see your child, you feel different. But the minute you hold, this is my personal experience, the minute I held my child for the first time, it just felt as though every instinct that a parent should have, almost like the common sense a parent should have, some of that stuff just started flooding my brain. It just started flooding me. Like, I'm never going to let anything happen to this child, you know, as long as I'm around. Like that protective, you know what I mean? Like all of that just started to, you know, it just felt like an overload of like emotion and, you know, just wanting to make sure nothing happened to him.
No, I was thinking about with Jonathan. Jonathan's the one who just they just had a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that. Like, to me, it was like, I think there's a reason they use sleep deprivation as torture, as a torture device. Because to me, like, that was the hardest time. Is like when you got a newborn and they just don't let you sleep. After that, like, you could take on anything. I mean, after, like, seems like the first week was harder than the second week, than the third. I mean, you know, if you made it through the first week, like, to me, you made it through the hardest week.
Everybody
Try living 9 months with your teenage daughter pregnant, and tell me how easy that is without going to jail.
I'll pass, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
That's what the reason I say that is because it's kind of like, you know, the problems as sleeping, right? That's a thing. People, newborns, they don't sleep, but not that the problems become bigger, but there's just other problems that you're always going to constantly deal at every single age group. You know, they turn 2 and then all of a sudden you got to start watching them every single second because they're just everywhere. You know, so it's and then just when you think everything's fine, something. Granted, I got the biggest blessing out of my life. My granddaughter's my world, the world to me. You know, but you know, it was a tough thing to handle, and it taught me a lot as far as you know.
Have a granddaughter?
Yeah, I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter and a 18-year-old month grandson.
I just thought you had a grandson.
Yeah, no, I got a granddaughter. She lives in
Grandson's the
Harrisburg.
coolest though.
Yeah,
She was at the baptism.
Yeah, my granddaughter was at the baptism.
Missed her.
Yeah.
She the one that's a little taller than you? Yeah. I just thought, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now I know who it was. Gotcha.
You thought it was my sister or
I did.
cousin?
I thought it was a sister. We're good now. You guys have any funny stories? Like, do you have any really funny stories or horrible stories about your kids growing up?
I have, just because it's funny, because both my kids did it. I don't know why. They both did it though, and like it wasn't like Andres like told, because there's 9 years between. It wasn't like he told her to go do it. So this was just a random thing that both my kids did. Both my kids, Andres did it. I lived in Rennick at the time. Andres started walking like really early. He was only like 8 months old and like running. Like he was super. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was nuts because he was so small and he would go down the steps and hide. Like at the base of our steps was like it was no light down there, so you couldn't even see him. He'd hide in the corner and he'd laugh, and he thought it was the funniest thing. But he was I don't know. I want to say he was like a little over a year old. He literally walked in the living room, pulled his diaper off, squatted down, pooped on the floor, laughed, and then took off running. 9 years later, Teresa walks in the room, pulls her diaper off, squats down, poops in the middle of the floor, runs off running.
I think
laughing.
Sean taught them this.
I don't know. I drank a lot. But no, it's just funny because both of my kids did that. Like without, I don't know where it came from, but they both did it. They both thought it was hilarious, and they both took off running and carrying a pee-filled diaper and running away laughing. It was one of those things I'll never forget from when my kids were like little.
See, if that would happen to me and there was nobody else in the house, I couldn't clean it up. I would. Just
I
throw
didn't
all over
clean
the
it up.
place.
I didn't.
That's
Their
tough.
mom had to clean it up. There was no way.
There's no way I could.
It would just. I would have had a napkin over it until she got home.
Yeah.
It would have just stayed there.
Big Daddy style.
Yeah, exactly.
When Allison, my oldest, was, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years old, I remember she said, like, "Daddy, I'm not feeling that good." I'm like, "Oh well, you know, you need to like go potty or something," and she just looked at me like with all the love and concern and just this deep longing look. She just stared right into my eyes and just projectile vomited all over the room. And that's tough because I'm not good with the smells and the liquids
What's funny?
and the I'm not good with that.
Yeah, me neither. I was like last year.
It took everything I had not to throw up
They
on
left,
her.
they left the grandchild with me, right? And he went, and I could smell it, and I had to change him, right? And I knew it was gonna be an ugly situation, right? So I set up my camera where you could see me. So if I do project, and the whole video is just me going. The whole video.
Teresa was a preemie. She was born at like 24 weeks. She was super, super early. And she was in an incubator. And every time I tried to change her in that incubator, she projectile pooped on my hand. Every single time I take her diaper off, just squirt. And I'm like... The nurse is running over with a trash can. The other one's trying to help clean it off my hand. I'm like...
No, the worst poop is the first one.
Oh, that black oily stickiness.
Yeah, it's like
it's so
tar.
bad.
It is
so bad.
And not only is it the worst one, I was the first one to change Elijah, and it got all over my hand. But since we're talking about poop, I got one funny story. One. This isn't even the angle I wanted to take.
Because it happened last week?
No. Massive poop. Thanksgiving, we're at my mom's house, right? And Elijah, he pooped. He was like, man, that's strong. Like, it smelled real bad. It was like, oh, my God. So at the time, his mom is holding him, and she's like, and she's looking, and next thing you know, it was an explosive one. It didn't. Well, it wasn't in the diaper.
It was a blowout.
It was almost.
It
was up his back. It was up his back.
Yeah, those are the
It
worst.
was, it was up his back.
Awful.
It was so. I was like,
Babies
ooh.
should come with power washers.
No, they should be dishwasher safe.
You know, like one of those things like when you go to the golf course, like you just with your golf ball. You need one of them. You just put the baby in the little cup and just clean and pull it. It's all squeaky
There's
clean.
nothing that smells better than like a freshly washed baby. And there's nothing that smells worse than that baby 5 minutes later.
What's bad is the baby's clothes always smell better because you got to get the detergent that's going to be nice for their skin and their stuff.
like
Like,
the
how come my
draft.
how come my stuff doesn't smell like that? It's bad.
I use that sometimes.
Yeah, the up the back poop.
Yeah, it's bad.
Jonathan. Is it Jonathan's first kid?
No, it's his third.
Oh, okay. So he knows about the
Oh,
up the
he
back
knows.
poops.
Yeah, he's
All right.
He's very familiar and knows. But I do want to say this. The angle I actually wanted to take, like we all have funny stories about our kids, and we'll wait. Are you?
Is it good now? Is it not frozen anymore? You're okay?
We'll wait.
Why can't you just keep talking? Just let me eat my donut in peace. Why do you have to stop the show for my donut?
Because
So,
you have the pig.
For those of you that are listening, Tom picked up a Boston cream donut and took a bite out of it. That's what we're discussing right now.
For as much as we can say how much we love our kids and the funny things they do, we also have to remember that we're parents now, but at one point in time, we were kids.
No.
So what we do to our kids, they're going to remember, which brings me to a story. I was really, really young. I might have been in like the third grade. Called myself having a girlfriend. Got dumped. My heart was broken. Like broken. And I went home and I was upset. And my mom was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I didn't want to tell her the whole story. And then my dad was like, "What's the matter?" And I kind of told him what the problem was. He said, "All right, we'll be back." Me and him hopped in the car. He gave me a little talk. Got me a Happy Meal. You laugh? Donuts good, Tom? Huh? I'm pouring my heart out
He's
for this
putting his
story.
heart out there. Tom's just snacking away.
Snacking on the
It's like a
Boston cream
movie.
donut.
It's like an emotional movie. You
What's
can
the
eat.
problem? What is the problem?
Now, is that chocolate on your hand?
It kind of looks, and it's funny because Jonathan just put on here, since we're talking about looks like chocolate poop on Tom's hand. Jonathan said he ate a cheeseburger with his first son's poop on his hand, and it did not even affect him.
Well, depending
Sir,
on where you got the
you are-
cheeseburger, it might have been.
It's probably
well-
sheets because he's out like
Yeah, if it's
Western
sheets,
PA.
it just helps. You know, it just
It makes it better.
How could it be worse?
But
You're You are a
But
hero,
you
sir.
done, Tom? You
Yeah.
want to take a sip of water, or you good?
Can I just get a little
Yeah,
sip?
please.
Do you want some milk? Should I go
We'll
upstairs and
wait.
get you some milk real quick
We'll
and maybe
wait.
some cookies
We'll
you
wait.
can dunk?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe make a
But-
bag of popcorn.
But
done.
he,
Popcorn
Go.
a little bit.
but he took me to McDonald's, got me a Happy Meal, explained to me like, hey, this happened now. It'll probably happen again. Blah blah blah. Gave me that whole talk, that whole the whole thing, and I say that to say, with our children, we got to remember moments like that because as parents, we're not always patient with them. But when they really, really need us, we got to make sure we take a step back and be there for them because that happened to me a long time ago. But that is one of the things that I remember, I remember most about, being a child. Like when little situations like that happened and I was having a tough time, my parents being there for me and making sure I got through it.
Yeah.
So are you guys, because I know your kids are younger, are you guys at the point where you see yourself saying things that your parents used to
Been
say
there.
to you?
Been there.
What
Been there.
I got my oldest is 10, but I have two little ones.
That's right. She just turned 10, yesterday?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, I have two younger ones that are really close together. They're like almost Irish twins. And my brother and I were like that, the same distance apart. And we used to give my mom we were a nightmare. She'd take us to a store and we're just like, destroy everything and hide and whatever. My little girls do that now, and it's just like I just like, man, this is penance from when I was a kid. Like the two little ones. Is that donut good, Elijah?
No, not the donut. What are you talking about?
So I got right after the whole
I'm going to eat the rest of that donut before the show's over, so.
just one bite. Doing one bite.
No, stop.
The right after the coronavirus shutdown, where like all the businesses were closed and everything was closed, you couldn't go to a park, all that stuff. Lisa took the two little ones in the room because they were asking, can we go to the store? Can we do all this? And Lisa tells Emily and Abby, who were 4 and 3 at the time, was like, everything's closed because of COVID, and we can't do all this stuff, and coronavirus is like the flu, but it's like really bad, and a lot of people are getting sick, and so everything's closed. All these restaurants are closed. We can't go anywhere. And she explained it to them really well, and they went off to play in the living room. And she said 5-10 minutes later, there was all this screaming from the living room. And she couldn't figure out what was going on. And Abby's the youngest, and she's just screaming her head off, screaming. And Lisa goes into the room and goes, what's going on what's going on? And Abby goes, because they got a toy food truck. And Abby goes, Emily closed the food truck because of Corona. She went,
Get out of here.
it has an open sign on the side, and she'd flipped it to closed and put everything away. She was like, you can't have a food truck during coronavirus.
That's great. That is great.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
The kids do cute things. Like now when we say our prayers at night, KJ, she's like, and one of the last things she said, I pray for my cousins. I pray for Rainbow Kitty, which is a stuffed animal. And she's like, and I pray that the coronavirus is gone because I don't want it here anymore. And
I don't want to hear anymore.
It's like, all right, KJ, this is your world. Whatever you want, Daddy will get it for you. Because that's one more thing.
So the one thing I'm sure you guys...
He said one more thing, and then you
No.
went in.
Oh, I missed it. I'm
please.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm
Please.
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I want you to go.
I was going to ask you a question.
Sorry, my mouth's full.
All these donuts going.
I noticed after I had a kid that you start to see your relationship with the kid as a very small version of your relationship with God. You ever see that?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that they depend on you without really asking for proof. Is I think I sort of wonder if God didn't give us children to kind of show us the relationship that he wants us to have with him.
Wow, that's actually pretty profound.
Yeah,
We got,
So you
got-
guys
at
haven't had-
7:52, he starts the show.
Okay, now he starts.
Yeah,
now,
now he starts the show.
now I got to start thinking.
Yeah,
Oh, really? I mean,
that's-
sees this?
I can
That's-
underst-
no,
I
we
can
all see it. That's-
understand- I can understand what you mean.
No, we're just I had this cool opportunity to just take a road trip with my mom last week, and we were talking about different things, and she brought that up, and because I've talked to her a lot about that. You know, I see the kids doing something, and I'm like, oh, that really reminds me of like my relationship with God. And so she was saying that it just taking a walk, like a toddler taking a walk with their parent. You know, the toddler doesn't ask where they're going. They don't ask where they're, you know, what the temperature is, what they need to wear, all this stuff. They just trust that the parent knows where they're going. And they just put their hand up in the parent's hand and it's just like, all right, cool, let's go for a walk. Like, I trust you. Let's do this.
And that's what it says in Matthew. That's God wants us to have the hearts of a child, to have that kind of trust in him to just guide us.
Yeah. The other thing I see, too, is, like, my oldest, as she's getting older, you know, she'll get really upset at, like, something that just doesn't matter at all.
Like they're not taking the backpack off the hook or the jacket off the hook thing, where she got upset about
no, it's just like even the little kids, like, get like, so upset because their dollhouse fell over or something like that. And it's just like, you know, you want to say, like, how stupid is it that you're actually wasting energy being upset that your dollhouse fell over? Just pick it up and put it back together. And then I go like, oh, yeah, but I spent time being upset about the fact that, like, my car got a flat tire. Like, just get another tire, right? It's like, you know, they're little versions of us. And it's like what C.S. Lewis said, children have one kind of silliness and adults have another. You know, like they're spend all their time occupied with their own little games and stuff.
I can't put it down.
Tom's just going after
He's
the
just
show.
going down on that
same
thing.
That's the same thing like with KJ with like Play-Doh, or if she's trying to set up a tent. She's trying to set up a tent in the living room and the sheet falls and she's like, ugh. I'm like, relax.
Yeah, but it's okay. So that's a perfect example of, like, she's trying to set up a tent and she's getting frustrated and you, the parent, are telling her to relax.
Right.
But what if, like, you, the parent, were trying to start a business and you were getting frustrated and God's just like, dude, relax. Like,
I get it.
Like, in the grand scheme, it doesn't matter that much.
But sometimes you got to take a step back. Just as quick as I say, relax, I say, baby, if you need help, Daddy will help you.
Yeah. That's
you know
important.
what I mean? Just if you need help, Daddy will help you. I'll you know, what do you need? And then she'll tell me, it keeps falling, and I'm like, all right, well, let's do it together. The only thing I don't like is when I put it back up for her. She's like, all right, Daddy, now you got to get it. Like, come on, I'm too big. I'm going to knock it down.
Call me, I'll get
But
it.
then I got...
See, and Tom, he just
KJ's bigger than Tom anyway, so.
Yeah. Can I?
Yes, go ahead.
No, are you?
No, I was just saying, like, but I'll get in there, and when I do things like that, they remember stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I went to McDonald's. Like, we went to McDonald's a while back, and she wanted a Happy Meal. So she was like, Daddy, you have to get a Happy Meal. I was like, KJ, I'm not getting a Happy Meal. And she's like, come on, Dad. So I gave in. So I said, I get 2 Happy Meals. I got Happy Meals, and when we got back home, we sat on the floor,
Aw.
watched TV, and I ate a Happy Meal with my daughter. And she remembers that. It's like little stuff like that they remember. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
You know why they actually do that? They just want the second toy.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
She wasn't
Yeah.
trying to.
She
have a
just
moment
wants
with
2
you.
toys, but
Yeah, she
that's
just wants
nice
two
that you
toys.
got a
But it
moment
is
out
nice.
of
You
it.
got a moment for
That's
you.
good. That's great, Elijah.
She got a second Rainbow Dash, and you got a cheeseburger and fries.
Elijah, she will remember that. She will remember that she got 2 toys.
Yeah.
She will remember the day
She'll remember that when
she
she's-
worked her dad.
Yeah,
She'll remember that when she's 13 and she's like, oh,
Hey,
that
Dad,
was the
remember-
first time I got Dad to do everything I wanted to do.
I figured about it early on.
Remember when you wanted a Big Mac with extra cheese and I got you to get a Happy Meal?
That is my princess, and I don't care.
Listen, I did it. I'm not going to lie.
I tell you what, to me, I think it's kind of profound that you go through all these things where, I mean, I'm not proud. I mean, Lisa probably changed more diapers than, I mean, she changed more diapers than I did, but I changed a lot of diapers with poop up the back. Okay, I took Allison to school a lot. Okay, I woke up in the middle of the night a lot, and I do have to say that of all those times and all that sacrifice and all those tired days and all those, things that we do for our children is all worth it. All worth it. The first time that I tell my daughter, you get me a drink out of the fridge? When they're old enough to do that, it's all worth it.
Having a Keurig and having a 5-year-old say, Daddy, do you want Fati? Because he couldn't say coffee. You want Fati? I would set it all up So all he would have to do was close it, push the button.
You're a genius and a hero, my friend.
And once the coffee was made, I did not allow him to bring me the hot cup. But he would say it's done. And see, now I'm getting all,
You're getting all
nostalgic.
emotional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like the little stuff. Like this weekend, I have a relative who raps and he does songs, and we went to the studio and we just happened to be there. There was a part in the song for a little kid. And
I heard that song. That was cool.
And who stepped up?
You did.
No.
You took the kid.
Tom did.
KJ did.
Tom did.
Okay. Your daughter. Okay.
My
Gotcha.
daughter did. She stepped up and she got in the recording booth. And
You heard it?
Yeah, it's
you
really
know,
good.
it was she only had one phrase, but whenever I hear it, it just melts my heart.
That's awesome. And you'll have that forever, too. It's
Forever.
really cool.
Maybe I could hear it sometime.
Maybe not. Moving right along.
Hey, why doesn't
You
Dave
eat your.
get to
How
hear
about
it?
you eat your donut and
I
stop worrying
did.
about what we got going on over
did.
here?
So I think I take advantage of my kids a lot more than my parents did. Like, I get them to do everything for me. I don't remember doing all that stuff.
No, my parents. That's what my parents did. Change the channel. You're right there. That's what I had kids for.
Yeah, you called them.
Go get me something to drink.
They were the first clicker.
Exactly.
The original.
They
The
were
original clicker.
clicker.
Exactly.
Because the knob made
Movie
that clicking
antenna.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all right.
Or
Stay
you
right
just
there.
stare and hold it.
Yeah, you got aluminum foil in one hand. It's like, all right, I want to go out and play. No, the soap's
Aluminum
wrong.
foil in one hand, finger in the electrical socket.
Hey, man, I don't care about you watching The Young and the Restless. I want to go outside. No, okay, whatever, whatever. But when it comes to the kids, like you said, we say things that our parents said to us to them, and I just think it's funny, like, because it's stuff that you said you would never do, or I'm never going to be like you when I get older. Never going to do that. Never going to say that. And now the kids just like they just do stuff, and you're like, knock it off, and they look. At
I
you
will
like,
knock your heads together.
They look at heads and beds. What? What are you? Huh? What are you talking about? Like,
This is the thing that blows my mind about Elijah. He's still sharp. Like, he still remembers like every line from every movie. He still remembers every character's name. As I think that my kids just suck the brain right out of me. Like, I feel like when I became a parent, it's just like my knowledge started decreasing because they're just taking every ounce of every brain cell I have.
no, I mean, like I'm telling you, like I know so much. I keep saying it, I know so much about Alexander Hamilton right now, and the Schuyler sisters, and Aaron Burr, and Lafayette, and John Lawrence, and George Washington, and it's ridiculous. Even Tom wouldn't like that, but I won't say that. But there was
Does it have something to do with a donut?
no.
I like
Okay.
that.
No, but I won't say it. But yeah, I learn a lot. I learn a lot from them. I learn a lot from them, from my kids. I learn a lot about myself, and they teach me how to strive to be a better me, a better Christian, a better dad, a better all-around person. If I didn't have them in my life, I don't know how I would be now.
I do have to say, as the last serious thing I'll say, and the last thing was a joke, by the way, but you guys didn't laugh. I said, like, it all pays off when they start doing stuff for you.
No,
He-
because
he-
you're
he-
right.
He repeated the joke.
I know, I was just saying-
Gotta explain it now.
Yeah,
It's-
it's
It's-
really
it's-
not
It was
funny now.
because when they start doing things for you, it's all worth the sacrifice. Like Allison does the laundry and dishes. It's amazing. I want to cry.
No,
But
Does she really?
yeah, she really does. It's awesome. Don't tell her I said that.
Wow, that's
when
great.
KJ did what she did in the studio, my cousin said, "Here," because I know
And
he
she's
was like,
honest too, because we got a jar full of quarters, and when she does the dishes or the laundry, she just takes a couple of quarters. We just say 50 cents a load. Done.
not
Totally
only
worth
is she honest, she's giving, because I know she likes to donate her money sometimes.
it. Yeah. She's a good
But
kid.
KJ actually got some money for, she got a couple bucks. Her cousin gave her a couple dollars. Thank you so much. And I told him, I was like, hey, this doesn't mean that when this record blows up, we're gonna discuss points
Yeah.
on that record. Just because you gave her $20 don't mean that that's the end.
I
of
mean,
it.
she's paid for it.
But what she did was
You're not.
No.
Your
Her.
portion's not. She's paid up.
I don't want any.
Oh, come on.
No.
We're going to talk business later.
We'll talk later. But I say that to say this. This is a reflection of what, being good and being, showing your kids the right thing to do. Not only did she get money, her brother didn't hesitate to help her in there. She turned around. She gave her brother $5 for holding her up.
Nice.
Then she looked at me and said, "Here, Daddy." She tried to give me money, but a tear literally came down my eye when I said this phrase to her. "No, baby, you worked. You earned that.
That's
That
awesome.
is your money."
That's cool.
Never thought I would have this. Never thought I would say that to a 4-year-old. You worked. You earned it. That's your money. All right, well, I'm going to keep it in my pocket. No, because you're going to keep taking it out. No, it's
Yeah.
my money.
Yeah.
It's your money. It's your money. You got it. But yeah, like it was amazing. Like for them to be 12 and 4, I'm proud of them as if they were like running the country. Like there's so much. Don't even. Not even you, Tom. But it's just so I'm just so proud.
You think
of
they
them.
could run the country?
Don't get Tom.
Come on
started.
Sunday and find out.
So the thing I wanted to say that was serious is like as a parent of multiple kids, you can see the way that they relate to each other means a lot. Like there's nothing that makes me more miserable than when my kids are being mean to each other, and there's nothing that gives me more pride and more joy than when my kids are being nice to each other and helping each other and loving each other and playing and just
That is a great feeling.
respecting each. And it's just
Yeah.
like when they play and like the older one's helping the younger one and the younger one saying thank you, and it's just like all this stuff. You're just like, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. And my mom said, you wait till they grow up and they're adults. She said that has been by far the most rewarding thing ever, is to see them become friends and see them help each other, like really step into each other's lives and help each other. And that's cool. But I mean, like I said, it's just a glimpse of what God wants us to see in the relationship between him and us. Like he wants us to get along. He wants us to love each other. He wants us to take time from our busyness of what basically he probably sees as us building a fort, right? Like us trying to build a business or work hard or
Right.
whatever. Like he's like, hey, you guys are just building a fort. Like to take time away from that and help each other. And, to me, it's just kind of profound. It's to step back and just see it the way God sees it and try to be his kid a little bit better. Because I don't know. I feel like I'm the grumpy kid a lot. And when I see that, I'm like, all right, I need to be.
I'm sorry, when I talk about my kids, I can't help but to smile. They sometimes have their issues, but I see more than, even though you got the 12-year-old frustrated with the 4-year-old, I am actually eating that donut. And you just threw your trash on my
I was
plate.
just consolidating.
I'm
My
not
trash
eating
didn't
it.
even touch
That's
your
the
donut.
Rona. That's the Rona. But my
That was good.
I hear, like, I see them interact with each other sometimes, and when you stand off to the side and just watch, you'll hear her say, "Thank you, bud," or he'll be like, "Oh, you're welcome, KJ," or she'll say, "You're the best big brother." Like, and
Oh,
they
my
say
gosh.
stuff like that, and they think I don't hear it or I don't see it, and it just makes me proud.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that makes me proud. They argue, but little stuff like that makes me proud, which, is a testament to what you said. It's just a glimpse of how God probably wants us to be with everybody we come in contact with.
Yeah.
Be ready to help, be there to lend a helping hand. I'm sorry.
What?
I love
That's
my
good.
So I guess we're going to go to prayer. I want to say a couple things about
Oh,
the
go ahead, say what you
gospel
gotta
real
say.
quick.
You go and do
Cool.
your thing.
So my thing is, so we had this episode on children and how, we're there to guide them. And as an adult, it's nice to know in my personal life that I have that father in my life that's going to guide me, that I can put my trust in him, that I could go to him anytime that I'm going through a bad time and pray to him. And he's going to be there for me. And that's Jesus Christ. And he wants to be your father too. So if you guys have any questions or I just always want you to know it's not just Tuesday at 7. This is our ministry. So if you guys have any questions, please message us on Facebook, message the page. We would love to interact with you. We would love to answer any questions about the Bible or anything else that you guys are wondering.
Tom will take you out for a donut.
I will take you out for a donut. And I'm preaching this Sunday about politics,
Oh.
so come watch.
And our donuts are not from a franchise. They are from a small local business.
Yes. Susie Joe Donuts.
Yes.
They're delicious.
Actually, I think
They're
she
pretty-
is
I don't really like
franchised.
donuts,
She
but I
has
had
more
that
than
one.
location.
It was like pumpkin with the cream cheese frosting. That thing was amazing.
Isn't that good?
This is pumpkin roll season.
That's why I bought a new house like 2 blocks away from them, so I can walk 2 blocks,
Is Crystal
You can
still
get a
watch
dozen
that, guys.
donuts, and walk 2 blocks back, and
Crystal
it's like
still
it
on?
balances out. I think
I
that's
still think you tip the scales one way and another way,
balances
but
out.
you know.
Like
Crystal
that's
is
too much
still on,
exercise,
we
right?
would love a
Four,
pumpkin
four
roll.
blocks of walking
Something like
for
that.
12 donuts. My math works.
you might need a block for each donut. I'm just saying.
I walk around the block once.
I can't eat my donut. They got
I'll
trash
help
all
you if you
over
need
it
help
now.
carrying the donuts.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that napkin's not socially distanced.
It
from
is
your donut.
not social
Okay,
distance.
the socially distancing is for humans.
Did you wipe your mouth with that napkin?
I believe he did. And his
You put the
hands.
Rona all over and then
The
threw it in his
Rona.
plate.
Tell him again.
All in his plate. That is a Rona donut now.
I think it's time to take a caller.
Yeah.
I wish we could.
John from Conshohocken, you're on the line. John, what do you got?
I wish, yeah. I should have answered that call that came in.
You should have answered that.
I should have
I
answered
can't
the
believe
call.
you didn't. I would have.
I don't know why
I
I
should've
didn't.
just gave it
wish
to me.
I
I'd
could've.
answered and
It
talked
was
to him.
Mark. Remember the one that? Yeah, and I haven't talked to him since he disappeared. Remember?
Yeah.
That's the first time he's reached out. So yeah, I'll definitely be calling him after the show.
Will we real quick? Will we ever be able to have the capability of taking phone calls?
If I take a lot of time on it.
Yeah. So yes, that's a yes. Yeah,
So-
we're gonna do that.
Whoever asked,
Because we've been
Crystal is still
asking.
here.
Crystal, yeah, pumpkin roll Crystal would be awesome because I know you're the best baker this side of Main Street.
Whatever.
Wow. Wow. Shameless.
Well, time to put this one in the books.
All right, guys, if you have any prayer requests that you haven't posted yet, feel free to post as I run around the table here real quick. Dave, what do you got this week?
I just want to pray for somebody in my family.
Tom?
I want to pray for Mark.
Mark, all right. Elijah?
I want to pray for
World peace.
no. I also want to pray for Dave's family member.
All right, I'm going to pray this week for the Clarks, my brother Steve who lost his mom, and also for the Gonzalez family since Tito Lucy passed this weekend. So, Sarah, what do you got?
Nothing today.
Nothing today. Brian, you got anything for us?
The Sabres last week, still working. Good job, coach. Figured that out.
Okay.
Looking for a job. All right. All right, guys, if you have anything else, feel free to post them. I'll write them down, and I will make sure I pray for those the rest this week. So let's go into prayer, guys. Father God, again, we just thank you, like we do every week. You allow us to be silly and goofy, and you remind us in times like this that we are your children, and you love us, and you guide us, and you nurture us. And when you have to, you discipline us, but you never leave us. So let us be a little more like that in our daily lives, Lord. Lord, I want to pray for Dave's family member. You know the situation. You also know the outcome. So Lord, be in that. Bring resolution. Bring peace. Lord, we want to pray for Mark. Whatever Mark's going through, wherever he's at, let him know that you are with him. You were with him the day he asked you to join his heart. Let him know you're still with him just as much as you were that day, this day. Lord, I want to lift up the Clark family, the Cornell Travis family, and also the Gonzalez family, all suffering terrible losses these last couple weeks. Lord, help Brian in his search for a job. We know that you provide, so we know you'll provide in Brian's assistance with this. Lord, also want to pray for the Campbell family, who also suffered a terrible, terrible loss recently. Lord, for the unspoken prayers, because you know there are so many that just don't get spoken. So many we hide, so many we hold on to, some we just can't bear to say. But you know that, Lord. So answer those prayers too. Lord, remind us why we came to you in the first place. Not because you demand it, not because it's the only option, but because you gave us a choice. And through all of it, the clear and best choice was you. And no matter what we did, no matter how far we strayed, you were standing there with open arms and joy in your heart. So remind us to always be in wonder, always to be amazed like a child for you, Lord. Because every day is another opportunity to be in your presence, to appreciate your glory, and just enjoy the life that you've given to us, Lord. We ask all these things in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Well, that's episode 31 in the books. Join us next week for episode 32, Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Remember, if you have a really good friend that hasn't heard our show and you want to share us with them, you can just click the share button on any of your favorite podcast apps. YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. What else am I missing? There's another one. Apple Podcasts. There you go.
Did you say YouTube?
Yeah,
On
YouTube.
I missed
Yeah.
it. Sorry.
So if you want to share us with one of your best friends or one of your enemies that you think wouldn't enjoy us, just go ahead and share. Join us
It's all for God's glory.
But join us next Tuesday for episode 32.
Love you
It's
all.
been a pleasure. Love you guys. Have a great week. See ya.